Hello everyone, this is Mahmoud from Teslica eBikes, and today is a very interesting day because I'm explaining the difference between a fat tire e-bike and a conventional tire e-bike. I hope you're having a 10 out of 10 day. Let's dive into it. So, what is a fat tire e-bike? A fat tire e-bike is technically any e-bike that has a tire that ranges between 3.5 inches in width up to 5.2 inches, again, in width. So this one right here, the Teslica Ambition, comes with the most common size fat tire, which is 4 inches wide. So the distance between here to here is 4 inches. Now a conventional tire will be anything lower than a 3.5 inch tire, like the Teslica Freedom right here. Most commonly, you'll see conventional e-bikes ranging between 1.5 inches in width up to 2.5 inches in width, with 2 inches being the most common size you'll see on the market. So what are the advantages of a fat tire e-bike and who should ride one? The first advantage to consider is comfort. You'll find that a fat tire e-bike will be way more comfortable compared to a conventional tire e-bike. The main reason for that is because a fat tire is wider, therefore it holds more air. And air on a bicycle is your first form of suspension. Also, fat tires will let you run lower tire pressure, so it allows for more movement and absorbance of any imperfections in the road, leading to a much more comfortable ride, even on those long rides you have planned on your new electric bike. The second advantage to a fat tire is the stability. Fat tires will give you much more stability and control over any type of ride compared to a conventional tire. If you think about it, the wider something is, the easier it is to balance over. If you were to balance over something thin, it would be hard. If you were to balance over something thicker, it'd be way easier. And that's the idea of having a wider tire on a bicycle. If you're having any problems with control, stability, or you just want to have more confidence on your rides, you'll find that fat tires are much easier to control over any type of terrain. So advantage number 3 for a fat tire e-bike is the traction. Given that the tire is wider, it has more contact with the road, so it can give you much more traction. It'll allow you to ride on any sort of off-roading terrain with more confidence and control. So if you're planning on using it for off-roading, at the cottage, even on snow, like a beautiful day like today, it's December, so it's starting to snow here in Ottawa. So these fat tires will give you much more traction, or in the summer, use it at the beach. You'll find that any sort of off-roading, challenging trails, you'll get much more traction and control out of a fat tire e-bike. We talked about fat tires, but how about the conventional tires? When are they the right choice for you, and who should invest in one? The first advantage to a conventional tire is that it's easier to pedal on your own power. So if you're planning to use no power at all, or you're planning to use less power from the motor, you'll find that it's easier to pedal a conventional tire. Given that a conventional tire is usually half of the width of a fat tire, it's half of the contact area with the roads beneath you, therefore it's less rolling resistance. So if you're planning to do your own pedaling, if you're planning to go on longer rides, you'll find that it's going to be easier using a conventional 2-inch tire. Advantage number 2 to a conventional tire e-bike is that it typically be a little bit lighter weight versus a fat tire e-bike. This is because a regular tire e-bike will have a little bit smaller rims and usually also less heavy spokes. This will lead to the tire being a little bit easier to lift. So if you're planning to take it to the office, put it on a car rack, or having to lift it a few stairs to go to your apartment, you'll find that it might be easier to invest in a regular tire e-bike. Now, the third advantage to a conventional tire e-bike is that it will typically have longer range, more autonomy out of the battery. Usually, if you're comparing the same bike, one has a fat tire, one has a regular tire, with the same size battery, you'll almost get twice the kilometer range of a conventional tire versus a fat tire. Again, this is because you have less resistance with the road, so the battery and the motor don't have to work as hard. Therefore, it gives you more distance, so you can go out on a longer range ride. This specific bike I'm on right now can go up to 150 kilometers on a single charge. Now that's almost from Ottawa to Montreal. Pretty cool. So let's do a few specific examples of who should invest in a fat tire e-bike and who should decide on a regular tire e-bike. The first example I'll mention is if someone wants to ride year-round and you have conditions like we have here in Ottawa, snowy in the winter, you'll definitely find the fat tire more stable and easier to ride over the snow. So if you're looking to ride year-round in snowy conditions, you'll find the fat tire a better option. Also, someone who wants a little bit more stability, let's say you have a few balance issues, you might have problems with your knees or hips, and you want to just have a little bit more confidence and be a little bit more stable on a bike, you'll find that investing in a fat tire e-bike will give you what you need. It's going to be a lot easier to control the bike. And if something goes on, someone goes in front of you, you go on the bike on grass, you'll find that the fat tire e-bike is going to be more stable and a safer option for most people. And another customer who should invest in a fat tire e-bike is someone that wants to use it in their cottage properties where the roads are not paved and you want just maximum traction. You'll find the fat tire e-bike much more powerful in such conditions. Now, on the other side, for a regular tire e-bike, who should invest in that? Let's say a customer who wants to go on longer distances. If you want to ride from Ottawa to Perth and back, then probably a fat tire with one battery is not going to cut it. You'll need to invest in a more efficiently rolling tire. So you want to go with a regular tire bike if you're interested in going for longer distances. Now, another customer that you should consider more conventional tire e-bikes is someone who's going to have to lift up the bike 3 stairs to take it up to their apartment. Now, to be honest, the difference is somewhat minimal when you take into account the whole weight of the bike. But if you're trying to save about 6 pounds, then going with a conventional tire e-bike, it's going to be a little bit lighter. And another example for a customer that will prefer a regular tire e-bike is someone who wants to blend in a little bit more. If you want a more conventional looking e-bike, then you want a more conventional looking tire. I hope that was helpful. So I'll just recap and give you a conclusion of the pros and cons again. The pros of a fat tire e-bike is that it's more comfortable, more stable, and gives you more traction. However, for a conventional tire e-bike, you'll find it lighter weight, gives you more distance, and it will be a little bit easier to pedal. If that was helpful, leave us a like, subscribe, and watch more videos for more information. Let the ride begin.